team and show people there that there's a lot of support even thousands of kilometers away here in Newfoundland and Labrador. And it's not just here on the field where their jersey is. Ryan, you've got a jersey on as well, and I gotta say, couldn't ask for nicer weather for April to hold an event like this.
Yeah, that's right, and thanks very much, Peter. It is nice to see nice weather this evening, a little on the cool side, so do bundle up if you are heading out there to the field in Mount Pearl. But for sure, for that great event, things are going to be very, very quiet through the overnight hours tonight. And for Friday morning, in fact, it's a very bright start for most of the island. Increasing clouds early on for the southwest and into Labrador. We are going to be seeing that snow moving in through the day tomorrow. It arrives tomorrow afternoon for the southwest, and then it will push across the island Friday evening and into the overnight. We'll see some accumulating snow by Saturday morning. It's changed to some drizzle for the south and east and a bit of a break, although still a chance of a lingering wet flurry or shower for Saturday. If you do have some travel plans, Saturday afternoon not looking too bad. And then as we roll into the Sunday time period, we're going to see some wraparound flurries through Newfoundland, a much breezier day, but still not bad for driving on Sunday. Labrador still stays a little unsettled. We'll have a complete wrap of your weekend with your forecast in detail coming up in just a few minutes.
This is CBC Here and Now.
We're taking a significant step in joining Quebec, Newfoundland and Labrador.
The Premier's promised collaboration on mining and transportation.
Damn it, you got a quota that's assigned to your name. So what's the difference besides the boat you catch it in?
Skipper Jack Troke on a life spent fishing and sealing.
Returning home, Caitlin Osmond gets ready to skate in the arena where it all started. The premiers of Quebec and Newfoundland and Labrador pledged to work together on roads and mining development. They struck a deal this morning in Quebec City. Dwight Ball and Philippe Couillard agreed to upgrade the roads that make up the transportation corridor between the two provinces. They also agreed to collaborate on studying the mining potential in an area that straddles Quebec and Labrador. The premiers say cooperating should stimulate the economies of both provinces.
As you know, our provinces share many similarities. When you look at our culture, our unique culture, the pride in our history, we cover large geographical areas with a rich resources, and we're governed with determination to utilize them to our fullest potential. Both provinces have felt the impacts of what we feel are unjustified actions that are coming out of the U.S. within ever-changing global market conditions. This shift has heightened the need for provinces to work collaboratively and break down barriers.
Speaking of Labrador, we told you yesterday about the recommendation that an undersea rail tunnel be built to connect that portion of the province with the island. Well, the topic of a fixed link between Newfoundland and Labrador is certainly nothing we haven't heard about before. For a little historical perspective, Here and Now's Ryan Cook took a look in the archives.
Whiteball wanted there to be no bones about it.
This is not a legacy.
And even if it was a legacy, it wouldn't really be his legacy. While some say it was Joey Smallwood's idea, Frank Moore's was the first premier to really take a serious dig at it. Literally. In 1975, his government put up a few buildings and dug a hole on the Labrador side. Moore's took some advice from this man, engineer Tom Kierans, known for his work on the Upper Churchill and for his big ideas, like developing the inside of the South Side Hills.
Making a fixed link would truly change, I believe, the Canadian landscape and unify our country.
While Ball talks about unity, Danny Williams was more for the provincial gain. Williams spoke with plenty of confidence about the idea while campaigning, perhaps even more confidently than the premier who prematurely blew a hole in the ground to get it going.
That fixed link is critical to the Northern Peninsula, it's critical to Labrador, and it's critical to the future of Newfoundland and Labrador. We are going to conduct a feasibility study, and I can guarantee you if there's any way that that link is feasible, we will build that link.
And while their study laid the groundwork, it didn't lead to any groundbreaking. Instead, it was shelved until 2016 when the Ball government promised to dust it off. So it might not be a legacy for any of these men, but could Ball be the one who gets it off the ground? Or, well, under the ground? Ryan Cook, CBC News, St. John's.
The federal government has signed a contract to have the oil removed from the Manolis L. Millions of dollars will go to Ardent Global for the work in Notre Dame Bay. Here now's Garrett Barry reports.
The federal government is calling this a real solution. It's coming at a real price, $15 million for the removal of all recoverable oil from the Manolis L wreck. The Liberian flag ship sank in 1985 near Change Islands. It's lodged upside down under 70 meters of water. It carried about 130,000 liters of oil. A storm in 2013 knocked some of that loose, and the federal government has been patching up the ship ever since, using a cofferdam collector. That wasn't enough for a local citizens response committee who wanted all the oil gone. They said as long as oil could leak, the fishery and the environment were at risk. In January, government moved towards that goal, announcing it was accepting tenders for oil removal. Today, it announced Ardent Global got the contract, the same company that salvaged the wrecked Costa Concordia cruise ship in Italy. This summer, that company will move towards Notre Dame Bay. Planning work is already underway, and the federal government says it wants oil removal to start in July. Garrett Barry, CBC News, St. John's.
For many young unionized workers at IOC in Labrador City, this is their first strike, and it will likely be a tough one to get through. But one woman is finding strength in her memories. Here now's Jacob Barker explains.
Memories for sure, yeah.
Nadine Goulet is spending her days on the picket line outside the IOC mine just as her father once did. Jean-Marie Goulet never wanted to retire, and he never did. He was an active employee of the mine, suffering from silicosis when he passed away in 2009.
It's a sad day for the family. They lost a loved one. It's a sad day for this town. They lost a pioneer, and a very sad day for the steel workers. We lost a brother, and I mean, he was a very good worker, and he was a gentleman. And I'm sure he was just estimated that he hauled over 45 million tons himself in the truck. So I mean, that was a great feat for a man.
Jean-Marie set a record for working at the mine, putting in over 51 years of service. Today, Nadine is following in his footsteps. She's worked at the mine now for nearly 10 years.
How many years did he have to go and fight for our rights? So I wasn't just going to back down and say, oh no, I'm a wuss.
This is her first strike. She's faced minus 42-degree conditions on the picket line. She's getting through it by thinking about her dad working in the frigid temperatures.
I got to think about my son too. He might want to work at IOC, and generations that stood there out in the cold, and they worked for it, so to get everything that we got.
A fight for Nadine, she says she'll carry on for her rights and the rights of the next generation. Jacob Barker, CBC News, Labrador City.
Thousands of volunteers in St. John's are working to tally the number of homeless people in the city. End Homelessness St. John's wants a complete count of people without stable homes so they can work on a plan to prevent and end what they say is a growing problem. Chair Sean Skinner says many factors contribute to a person becoming homeless. His group aims to find stable homes for people to live, but also to provide support to keep people in those homes.
Healthcare wait times have increased in this province for certain procedures. That's according to a recent study by the Canadian Institute for Health Information. Here's the breakdown. If you need cataracts removed, the acceptable time frame to get that done is 16 weeks. Only 87% of patients got the eye surgery within that time, and that is down from 2015. For knee replacements, only 66% of patients are getting their procedure done within 6 months. That's a big drop from 2015 when 87% got it. For hip replacements, the number of people getting surgery dropped from 94 to 84%. On the plus side, 100% of patients who needed radiation therapy for cancer in 2017 received it within the recommended wait time of 28 days.
Well, they might be bucking the trend. Not only do they want to be rural doctors, they say it's more exciting than being in the big city. Here now's Ramona Deering has this report.
It's a large conference on rural medicine. They're here from across the country. It's only a few minutes into the opening session with Memorial University's Dr. James Rourke, and he's trying to sell the crowd on the beauty of this place. But some of the young people here are already sold on careers in rural medicine. GPs in small towns can take on exciting stuff that might be off limits in bigger cities, like working in an emergency room or assisting with surgeries. That's important to this Memorial University med student.
But you also get to deliver babies and then you get to follow the moms and the babies in your office practice.
This Ontario med student hopes to do a residency in Newfoundland and Labrador and maybe stay.
It seems like just a really nice place to practice, and you can really get the full scope of being a rural physician, which is harder to do in some other places.
These two leave St. John's for residencies in Happy Valley Goose Bay this summer. The area's large Indigenous population was a deciding factor for her.
Indigenous health is considered to be an underserviced population in Canada right now.
As for Michael Curran, he might stay in Labrador.
I couldn't imagine a better place to work than Goose Bay.
The lifestyle attracts him. But even more, it's the idea of being a family physician who can also deliver babies and do shifts in the emergency room. And his enthusiasm is hugely important in a province that always needs more rural doctors. Ramona Deering, CBC News, St. John's.
Making a living from the sea is knit into the fabric of Twillingate. Coming up, I'm going to introduce you to a man who killed his first seal 72 years ago when he was 9 years of age, and if he had his way, he'd still be killing seals.
Catch the National live at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on Facebook, Twitter, and at cbcnews.ca/The National. What's next in news? The National.
When we make Brookside chocolates, we don't use a mold. That's why our perfect blend of vibrant fruit flavors and delicious dark chocolate come in imperfectly round pieces. We weren't made in a mold, and neither were you. Break the mold with Brookside, daringly different dark chocolate.
Why do so many Canadians turn to an insurance broker for advice? It's simple. We work for you, not the insurance companies. Together, we establish what you need. Then, we identify the coverage that makes the most sense. That's why so many people know your best insurance is an insurance broker.
My kids have questionable taste in fashion, but they have great taste in cereal. Malto Meal. My kids love it for its taste, and I love it for its price. Is it Scuba Day? Superhero Day?
When you buy AgroPure products, you support the Canadian economy. When you choose to buy products from AgroPure, a Canadian dairy cooperative, you're choosing to contribute to the Canadian economy. Thanks.
The special edition Ram 1500 Black Express with black grille, black 20-inch wheels, and black badging. Long live the new king. Right now, lease a 2018 Ram 1500 Black Express for only $48 a week.
How does your home greet the world? Ensure it makes an outstanding impression with doors and windows from Coltec. Built to the highest quality and energy efficiency standards, each one is custom made to any color, shape, or size. Peter Kohler Windows and Entrance Systems is now Coltec. Find the same great service at a dealer near you.
Lotto Max.
Welcome back to Here Now. Seal hunting season is upon us, but the number of people in the hunt is way down. Just 4,000 commercial sealing licenses this year compared to almost 12,000 just a decade ago. Pressure from animal rights groups and export bans to Europe and other countries mean poor prices for seal pelts. Well, one man in Twillingate resents the demise of what he says is a proud part of Newfoundland culture. Jack Troke invited me into his shed to talk about the ups and downs of the seal hunt and his life. Jack Troke, you were born in that house behind us?
Yes, sir. And in the same bedroom I was born in, I'm sleeping now today. Going on 82 years ago.
Yeah. And how old's that house?
It's in excess of 200, we know that.
Right.
Yeah.
So 82 years of age, you shot your first seal when you were...
No,
Nine?
I batted it.
Oh, you batted it?
Yeah.
All right.
With a gap. And
you went on to become a sealer?
A sealer, and a little bit of everything. On vessels, I made 7 trips over the equator. I worked up in the Arctic, building these early warning radar stations. The Cold War was on.
So you spent your life living off the sea?
Yeah. This is what keeps this province going, is the fishery. All these little outports. You know, not the big town, Grandpa's Gander, you know, there's little outports and spin off, that's what keeps it going.
Right. You spent a good number of years of your life, not just sealing, but then when the whole animal rights movement happened, you and your son basically took on the animal rights people.
Yeah, we did. Right. I've been spit on, I've been called every conceivable thing in this world you can call a human being. I wish my kids drowned in their own blood, want to come down and burn my house down and barbecue my wife and kids. But I challenged the bastard, he wouldn't come down.
Men against the sea and ice.
And that's all, sir. I mean, it's something we've done all our lives, see, Anthony, you know, it's a part of our culture. You've done it to put food on the table and to keep the bloody roof from leaking. It's like a job, same thing as the school teacher or whatever, you know. That's what make our living over the sea, you know. And seal fishing was a very, very important part.
What do you think the seal hunt's going to be like this spring? Is anybody getting ready?
Well, there's one boat had it now, matter of fact. And this is the second trip we went out with.
One boat?
Just one boat, yeah.
What was it at its peak?
500 or 600, 700 or 800. We had a quarter, which was 400,000. They're like 400 a day now per vessel.
Right, so the operating cost of the vessel, the ammunition and all that, can people who hunt seals, can they still make money?
Oh yes, yes. Sometimes I go up seal skins, I go up to $100 a seal. Oh yes, it's a good dollar we made it. Then you meat, of course, you know, too.
Right. It's all for domestic consumption now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like for the coats that are made in St. John's.
You know, there's a big local market, you know, but then again, that's not going to take the 300,000 or 400,000 seals, you know.
Yeah. So how angry are you at the people who basically the Europeans and I guess China and Russia now, they've all said we don't want Newfoundland seals because are you right and the rest of the world is wrong?
I don't know. I don't know. You know, well, all I do know is one of God's creatures give us to sustain ourselves when we're roaming over this whole planet. No different on moose, caribou, or codfish or whatever. As long as it's harvested humanely and sustainable. That's what you got concerned about. You know, boy.
When you look back at your whole life as a sealer and as a fisherman and living off the sea as we started this interview, do you wish you'd done something else?
No. It's only one thing I would have changed in my life. I wouldn't have retired when I did. That way my son would have been still alive, Gary.
Gary.
He died on Thanksgiving Day 2000 and a young man married to my granddaughter right there 4 months.
Yeah. But you actually warned your son that it was a big sea that day, right?
Because I said to him, I said, Gary, I said, the Department of Fisheries, boy, he wants to go and off them nets, let them all up. I said, we got another 360 here sitting in the shade, so.
Oh, that's the gear regulation? You got to pull the gear up? Yeah.
Yeah. It's 4 days of gear up, see, Saturday evening, 6 o'clock, put it again Monday morning, 6 o'clock.
Right.
Now, the week before that, there were 5 or 6 fishermen charged, but they never had their gear up. So he went out to try to get his gear and kept so he moved and died. Got his body, never got the young man's body that was married to my granddaughter.
Do you find it frustrating at the age of 82 that you still find yourself, you know, kind of batting heads with DFO
yeah,
regulations?
Very, very frustrating. And matter of fact, it's getting worse and worse and worse. Like the size of the boat. You go up there to the marine up there and see the way fellas got their boats cut off. Now, if they come under the Department of Transport regulations, every one of them boats would be turned down, but they're too small. They don't come under that regulation. You know, just because size of the boat. Damn it, you got a quota that's assigned to your name. So what's the difference in the size of the boat your kids is in? You want to kitchen in a bathtub, that's your business. You want to use the super tanker? You know, boy.
Because the quota's the same.
That's right.
You can only take that much.
Main thing that you're stuck with that number of pounds of fish, whatever species. Crazy. And all it is, all the stuff is just for aggravation and punishment for fishermen. Makes the much frustrated they can for fishermen.
Why would they do that?
Because they get their kicks out of that. See if they smoke marijuana.
So how does your wife put up with you? That's the real question of this interview.
Oh boy, going on 64 years now, June coming. Well, I slipped down the foot of the bed a few times.
Jack Troke, it was a real pleasure. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, that was a lovely
He's
interview, Anthony.
Such a remarkable man. You know, you're talking, and there's not a lot of Jack Trokes left, really, right? And it was a real eye opener, and really sweet. And his wife, and they invited us in, and it was beautiful going to Twillingate. It really was.
I had the great pleasure of being there and chatting with him and his wife once a number of years back, so it is a treat.
Yeah. The world traveler and host of Parts Unknown was here in October filming an episode of this show. He tried his hand at cod jigging as well as moose hunting with local chefs such as Jeremy Charles with Raymond's.
And now we know when that episode will air. You can check it out on Sunday, May 13th at 10:30 p.m. Newfoundland time, 10 in most of Labrador.
This is my dream holiday.
This spring.
Can we confirm you found a gun? Secluded, romantic.
On Coronation Street.
We found something else.
And now.
You gotta get out there as fast as you can.
Watch Coronation Street, weeknights at 7:30 on CBC.
Can keep my hands on myself. Pick out dust them off, put them back up on the shelf. Kiss my little baby girl is in need. Am I coming out of left field? Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. I've been feeling it since 1966 now. Might have had your fill, but I feel it still. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for...
My kids have questionable taste in fashion, but they have great taste in cereal. Malto meal. My kids love it for its taste, and I love it for its price. Is it scuba day? Superhero day?
Can an anti-dandruff shampoo give you smooth, manageable hair? Sarah tested her current shampoo.
So tangled. Let's try the other side.
And new Dove Dermaplus Care.
Wow.
New Dove Dermaplus Care. Visibly flake-free hair, plus all the care of Dove.
When you buy AgroPure products, you support the Canadian economy. When you choose to buy products from AgroPure, a Canadian dairy cooperative, you're choosing to contribute to the Canadian economy. Thanks.
How does your home greet the world? Ensure it makes an outstanding impression with doors and windows from Coltec. Built to the highest quality and energy efficiency standards, each one is custom made to any color, shape, or size. Peter Kohler Windows and Entrance Systems is now Coltec. Find the same great service at a dealer near you.
Great lines, tons of space. Do you think it can?
And then some.
The Adventure Ready 2018 RAV4. Priced to move, perfected to play. Visit your Atlantic Toyota dealer for details.
No artificial colors, flavors, or sweeteners. In any of our food?
That's happening a lot lately.
M&M Food Market. We've changed for the better.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Robothan Mackay Marshall. If you've been injured in an accident, make the call.
And welcome back once again. And I notice, of course, that you've got your jersey on. Jersey Day right across the country.
Yeah.
A lot of people here participating too for the Humboldt hockey team.
Keeping
Broncos.
Humboldt in our thoughts, obviously, and support for Humboldt, support also for the Leafs, not going to lie. Support for both today. As
What people don't know is you usually have that underneath your suit anyway.
That's
so
true. That's true. Right? Today I get to wear it on top of the suit. Of course, round one kicks off tonight against the Bruins, which will be a dandy. So
it's going to be a great series.
A lot of Bruins fans in this province,
as I've discovered, even some here in this building. So should be an interesting couple of weeks there. Want to start with the webcams tonight, and a great shot here. This is a new webcam that Transportation Works has set up not that long ago in Dunn's River, which is on basically the northern part of the Burin Peninsula, right as the road starts to jog south there. And you can see a nice look there with the webcam and a bit of sunshine breaking through, but the clouds obviously a little on the dominant side at times. And that camera is situated right about there. And you can see where the temperature was around 6 degrees at last check in that area. 2 in Gander, 5 in Badger, so it's been one of those days. You can see it's just 0 in St. John's right now. One of those days where along the coast it's obviously cooler with a bit of an onshore wind. Inland temperatures are in that 3, 4, 5, even 6, 7 degree range for today. Even Happy Valley Goose Bay up towards 5 degrees right now. Winds have been generally light, though where they are blowing onshore, as I mentioned, they are certainly keeping things cooler. That'll be the story tomorrow and pretty much until, well, right through the summer, where we see those onshore winds are going to be a bit of a factor. The weather setup, again, pretty quiet. Some clouds that have kicked up for today, but an area of high pressure is pretty much in firm control. This is the next system that we're watching. It's rolling out of the Great Lakes. It's going to be moving in with some snow for us, changing over to a little bit of drizzle, but that will be the weather maker as we roll through the Friday night into Saturday time period, and then watching this system, which is rolling onto the west coast. That'll be our weather player for mid next week. It's going to take a long time to get here, but it will be arriving as we roll into the Tuesday night, Wednesday time period. Here's how it all plays out. Bit of cloud cover again, at times dominant through the overnight. Tomorrow, the general story will be sunny start for most of central and eastern Newfoundland. The clouds will already start to build in for the southwest and across into Labrador, where we're talking about some of that snow starting to push in by tomorrow morning for places like Labrador City around -12. Chance of flurries in Happy Valley Goose Bay. And again, just the clouds a little more dominant here over the southwest. Dropping potentially into the minus double digits for low-lying areas of central parts of Newfoundland. That cloud cover will continue to thicken through Friday, and that snow will march in from southwest to northeast. Corner Brook by the drive home, likely a few flakes falling. The steady stuff, I think, stays down towards Port aux Basques and the Burgeo Highway. Labrador into some snow through the day tomorrow as well, and then it will push into St. John's through Friday evening, likely arriving mid to late evening. So any Friday evening plans, do be mindful that you may have to deal with some snow on the drive home at least. Temperatures ahead of this system, not too bad. Once again, with southeast winds, if you were right along the southern shore, 2-3 degrees in those onshore winds. Away from the onshore winds, 5, 6, maybe even 7 degrees tomorrow with that cloud cover building, and there are those flurries in the south and west. And into Labrador, we're talking about the flurries building into Labrador City, Churchill Falls, Happy Valley Goose Bay, even some accumulation in the west through tomorrow. And then a quick look into the Saturday time period. We will be seeing a bit of drizzle in the morning and then a chance of drizzle again into the afternoon. The snow will start to ease off for you folks in Labrador slowly but surely through the day on Saturday as that system starts to clear out into the coast. Temperatures will be mild, but then falling through the day from west to east. And we'll talk more about that and a look ahead to Sunday with your long-range details in a few minutes. Debbie?
Thank you, Ryan. Well, we know many hockey players don't shave during playoff runs, but minors? With the Steelworkers Union on strike in Labrador West, many men are leaving their razors in the bathroom cabinet. Our Jacob Barker has the scruffy details.
You'd be able to do that if you were working?
No, not at all, no.
Why not?
We gotta wear respiratory fit stuff so it won't seal around your face.
So does the strike give you the freedom to sport a beard?
Yeah, we got a fella up here growing one pretty good. It's coming in pretty patchy.
It's almost like a playoff beard, right?
It is, yeah.
How are you enjoying it?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Getting a bit long now, so we soon have to shave.
Does it feel good? Does it feel good to have that freedom to let it grow?
Well, no difference really, but like I said, I don't have to shave, and it's good for this kind of weather because it's warm.
It keeps face warm.
Keeps face warm.
Well, there might not be many playoff beards in basketball, but whatever the St. John's Edge is doing, they really shouldn't change a thing. Fans gathered at Boston Pizza in downtown St. John's last night to watch the Edge sweep their way into the second round of the National Basketball League playoffs. They defeated the Windsor Express, the score 124-117. So now they're preparing for the next round of competition in the playoffs, the Central Division Finals. They'll take on the winner of the London Lightning and Niagara River Lions series. London currently leads that best-of-5 series 2-1. Their next game is tomorrow night.
Well, they survived into the next round.
What a season.
I know. For a first season,
huge crowds the first season. It's amazing.
I guess the Mile 1 Center will be pretty full when they come back home.
Olympic and world figure skating champion Caitlin Osman is about to arrive home in Newfoundland. The atmosphere right here at the St. John's Airport is electric. We'll have more on that coming up.
Improvement for people who are not into self-improvement.
I can't swim.
I am not funny.
I would like to help a cow give birth to its calf.
Yeah, I think we can help.
I think we can do that.
How does your home greet the world? Ensure it makes an outstanding impression with doors and windows from Coltec. Built to the highest quality and energy efficiency standards, each one is custom made to any color, shape, or size. Peter Kohler Windows and Entrance Systems is now Coltec. Find the same great service at a dealer near you.
The Hyundai Elantra. So, do you have to buy a big car to get a safe car? Not if your car has a super strong superstructure made with advanced high-strength steel, or when it's loaded with safety technology. Even autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian detection. And we back our quality with one of the best warranties in Canada. The Hyundai Elantra. The compact that's big on safety.
There's something special about going through a forest, smelling the moss, hearing the sound of a woodpecker.
Nature for me is part of my heart, part of my spirit, and also part of my heritage. What I appreciate most about the Nature Conservancy of Canada is the partnership, and they also have a lot of heart about what they do.
Donating to protect wild lands is a privilege. Whether it's $10 or $1,000 or $1 million, do what you can because it's part of our legacy that we can leave behind.
When you buy AgroPure products, you support the Canadian economy. When you choose to buy products from AgroPure, a Canadian dairy cooperative, you're choosing to contribute to the Canadian economy. Thanks.
Welcome back to Here and Now. We're going to go to St. John's International Airport now, where a crowd is starting to gather to welcome world champion figure skater and Marystown native Caitlin Osman.
Our Terry Roberts is among those waiting for her arrival and joins us now to set the scene. Terry, what are we expecting there this evening?
Yeah, well, as you can see behind me here now, Debbie, the scene right now, it's electric. There's a growing crowd. There are several dozen people here right now. I know I spoke to some people. There are representatives here from various figure skating clubs in the area. There's also there's also some family here of Caitlin Osmond, including her uncle, who's right here, Troy Power. Troy, what do you think of what's happening here right now?
It's amazing, actually. It's absolutely amazing.
Say a few words about your niece.
Oh, what else can you say? Like, she's a world champion. She got the 3 Olympic medals, and we're here to cheer her on. And what a beautiful turnout! It's awesome. My wife Kim's here. My kids are here. Friends, family, and fan supporters. It's just amazing. It's just amazing.
Right. So that's Troy. That's right. Some athletic achievements, unprecedented really in this province. Everyone here is really proud of her. We actually spoke to an artist a little while earlier, Jody Thornbury. She put 15 hours worth of work into a painting. That iconic image of Caitlin winning the World Championships in Italy last month, posing with the Canadian flag and her medal. Just listen to Jody talking about making that painting.
I made this acrylic on canvas painting as a gift to Caitlin because I'm so proud of the grace and everything that she exhibited with the win, and she's just such a lovely, lovely lady. She did us so proud, Canadians, Newfoundlanders, and women. So I just wanted to show her how much I appreciated what she did.
Yeah, so Caitlin and both her parents are traveling with her. We're being told that they should arrive here at the airport terminal here in St. John's at around 7:20. They're flying from Edmonton, so there's going to be a welcoming ceremony here. People saying they want to welcome her like the rock star, like the true athletic star that she really is. And this is just the beginning of it, because it's going to be a whirlwind few days for Caitlin Osmond. Tomorrow morning there's going to be a big event at Confederation Building where Caitlin Osmond and Paralympic sledge hockey silver medalist Liam Hickey, well, they're going to be greeted by the Premier, and we're told there's something special is going to happen tomorrow morning just after 10 o'clock. And then after that, Caitlin will make her way to her hometown of Marystown, where the party really begins. There's a charity hockey game tomorrow night there. She'll be a guest of honor at that event. And Saturday, look out. That's when things really happen. There's going to be a motorcade around Marystown at 10:30. There's going to be a meet and greet at 11:30. Then the figure skating club where she got her start all those years ago, they're having their annual skating show that starts at 4 o'clock on Saturday. Good luck if you think you're going to get tickets to any of those things. There's a high demand for all of those events in Marystown. Of course, we're welcoming a world champion, an Olympic champion with 2 Olympic medals. So this is an amazing feat for a young woman, just 22 years old, very deep roots here in this province. As we see, we have some of her family members around here, people of all ages here right now to welcome Caitlin Osmond back to Newfoundland. Reporting live from St. John's Airport, I'm Terry Roberts for Here and Now.
He's a pretty excited Caitlin fan himself. Should also mention, we'll recap at the end of the show, Debbie's involved in a lot of Caitlin's activities. We'll give you a little bit of info on that towards the end of Here and Now. Now to a sport a little more rough and tumble, and as is known here in Newfoundland and Labrador, a bit of a hot spot for creating young competitive rugby players, and this next story will certainly be of interest to them. Playing rugby in Canada is about to get a little more expensive and a lot more controversial. Rugby Canada is facing a major backlash for raising registration fees for players at all levels, and they're doing this to fund the men's national team, and many say that's at the expense of a top-ranked women's team. Talia Ritchie has the story.
It's a heated topic in the rugby community. Fee increases for dozens of teams to help one team.
This is just unacceptable, and that an organization can get so far down the track and then need to call for a bailout.
Rugby Canada told CBC Toronto over the phone that the fee increases are necessary for the future of the sport in Canada. The men's team qualifying for the World Cup brings in funding that is spent across all programs, but that still leaves many people with questions.
Where are we going from here, and who's going to lead us there?
Dr. Karen Kroback, Chief Medical Officer of Rugby Ontario, says as a former player, she knows women still face barriers, but also says the organization has come a long way.
So there was a lot of issues back then where we had to pay to play, we were getting a lot of hand-me-downs, we really struggled.
Crowback says the issue many people within the community have was how sudden the announcement was.
And I think it was just a shock to people in that there was poor or minimal communication that was going to happen, and it was just stated, this is why it's happening.
Mark Chesser, president of the Niagara Rugby Union, was also unhappy with the lack of communication and says the move is a bit of a gamble.
I'm hoping that they qualify. I'm hoping that they take this money and use it well. I wish they could have come up with a better way of fundraising.
Chesser says he understands the organization is in a crunch, but doesn't feel going after funding from the grassroots level is the way to go about it.
I've had a couple of mini coaches, so these are the coaches that coach under 12. Don't understand why Rugby Canada is looking for money off of a 12-year-old child to help play for national senior men's players.
Rugby Canada says they will be holding public webinars for the rugby community to answer any questions. Talia Ricci, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, here in Mount Pearl, people are getting ready for tonight's vigil in order to be able to mark the Humboldt tragedy. And all of minor hockey associations have decided to come together in one place. I'm here now with Trevor Murphy. He's organizing tonight's event. So why did you decide to bring everyone together onto this field tonight?
Yeah, we were talking as a group of presidents over the last few days, and through the initiative of Hockey Newfoundland and Labrador, we thought it'd be a nice gesture to bring all the associations together. So we all want to do something ourselves, you know, and do something special, but we thought by bringing the group together it really shows the solidarity of the Minor Hockey Association in a time like this. You know, certainly we've all been impacted by this tragedy in Humboldt, and for us to come together tonight, I think it's a chance to us to pay tribute to the victims of the crash and to show our support to the families, but also a bit of a celebration to show the minor hockey family and to show that we can come together in times like this, and I think tonight will be a true testament to that.
Why has this resonated so much? We've seen so many students wanting to wear jerseys today, so many people in workplaces wearing jerseys, especially when this is something that happened so far away that didn't directly touch people in this province.
Yeah, no, I think we've all been there before in terms of riding the buses. You know, hundreds of times a year we're back and forth to the hockey rinks, or if you play other sports, baseball fields, basketball gyms, wherever it might be. So we all do it. You know, I've got 2 young kids who are at a provincial tournament when this all happened, and you know, so you worry about them traveling back and forth. So, you know, we're all impacted from it, even though they're thousands of kilometers away from us. It hit home, and I think we all agreed to that, and that's why as a provincial branch, and then also our local minor hockey associations, this was a chance for us, and it's just a small gesture, you know, what everyone's going through. And I personally had, I guess, a couple of connections to some of the players that were there. So, you know, not personal connections, but some of them through their fathers and stuff. And like I say, when I heard the news, it hit me pretty close. And I know the minor hockey in general, it hit very close to home for all of us.
Well, the event gets started at 7:30 tonight, and of course, anyone who wants to can come down to the field. Thank you so much for telling me about it.
No, thanks, Peter, and thanks for the support you guys have shown.
Closed captioning brought to you by GMC's Truck Month. Get up to $11,000 total value on select new 2018 GMC Sierras. See your dealer for details.
When you buy AgroPure products, you support the Canadian economy. When you choose to buy products from AgroPure, a Canadian dairy cooperative, you're choosing to contribute to the Canadian economy.
Thanks. Everywhere I go, I bring a little hope. And while I'm wide awake, I dream. And with that bit of hope, everywhere I go.
We all play differently, but the hope is the same. Get that Lotto 649 feeling.
Totally love it. Seems like the right fit. Let me ask you, can it?
Oh yeah.
The 2018 Corolla. Smart choice, smart price. Visit your Atlantic Toyota dealer for details.
Discover new Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash. Pump, foam, hydrate. New Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash.
Snoring so loud you're waking the neighbors? On the next street? You may have sleep apnea, and it's no laughing matter. Call the experts for a free screening.
Horizon Air, helping you breathe easy.
It is a very troubling time that we live in. You might even say the end of times.
Fake news.
The apocalypse is coming. So what are you gonna wear?
Yeah, boy!
All right then, it is time for our young athlete of the day who may be small, but he has a big heart and an even bigger love of hockey. Chase Hibbs is 4 years old and lives in Baie Verte.
And this is his first year playing with the Baie Verte Sabres, and he's having a fantastic time.
That's great. That's what it's all about, Chase. Congratulations on being chosen as today's Young Athlete of the Day.
Still with the athletes theme, you're not the only one wearing a Toronto jersey. Just have a look at this.
Ah, nice.
Isn't that nice? Look at that. Taken at Costco in St. John's today. A very proud Matthew Smith, and that's his son, Brody.
And of course, all part of Jersey Day for the Humboldt Broncos, and acts of solidarity and generosity have been breaking out in many places today all across the country.
For sure, and including at St. Francis of Assisi School in Outer Cove. This is Gord Stalls, who drives bus number 7.
Yeah, and we grabbed this off of Twitter, and what he did was he decided to come with a bunch of hockey sticks, and as you can see, he started handing them out to the students, and what amazing, look how polite those students are, right? Like back in my day, that derby on the ground.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? I mean, look at them, they're so, anyway, what a nice gesture.
One at a time.
And look at the smile on this bus driver's face, like he is just happy handing them the sticks, the green tape as well, right, as the green color.
Riding on number 7 bus, I'm sure is an adventure every day.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great gesture there. And again, we've been seeing it, like we said, all across the country today. One part of the country that I can guess has probably the most amount of snow on the ground, at least it's got to be up there, maybe in the top 10, is just north of Red Bay.
Whoa.
This is the Trans-Labrador Highway. This picture taken yesterday, I believe, courtesy of Vicki Hancock, and she says this is what's on the ground now after that latest system moved through a couple of days ago. And no shortage of snow. That's probably going to be June, maybe July by the time it's all said and done there in terms of that snow being done. Have a look at the heat building in here. 30 in Oklahoma City, just -2 in Calgary for highs today. So yes, another weather system brewing right here, and that will track across the country as we roll over the next couple of days. Nothing imminent here for Newfoundland and Labrador. This system is going to be not moving in until tomorrow night. Tomorrow is actually a pretty calm day as we take a look at your future tracker here. This area of high pressure keeps things calm through tonight. Into tomorrow, we will see some snow building into Labrador. Late day into Newfoundland with some snow into the southwest. That spreads into the rest of Newfoundland through Friday evening into St. John's, mid to late Friday evening. Not looking at a ton of accumulation from this system. We'll talk about that in just a second. Saturday morning, a change to some drizzle for St. John's, the Burin Peninsula. Those drizzle chances continue for the Burin and the Avalon into the afternoon. Quieter for central and west with a chance of some onshore flurries moving in through the day as temperatures will start to fall over the western half of the island through the Saturday afternoon and evening time period, and some much cooler air funneling in for Sunday, and certainly a breezier day, especially along the coast. We'll talk about that in a second as well. Snowfall projection by Sunday morning, we're looking at a general trace to as much as 5 centimeters. Could see a little bit more over the southwest coast and the west coast, mainly in the higher elevations. The higher elevation areas are the only spots I'm thinking that could get 2 or over 10 centimeters. Labrador, however, looking at a widespread 10 to even as much as 15 centimeters. Forecast models flirting with a little bit more along the coast, where special weather statements are in effect. And that would be totals through Sunday. As that system pulls away, there's the wind that's going to be ramping up along the coast of Newfoundland. We're talking about gusts in the 70, 80, even 90 kilometer per hour range for Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening along the northeast coast, including St. John. So it's going to be a windy end to the weekend. And with those temperatures, obviously with the winds in from the north, those temperatures are going to be cool. So do keep that in mind. Bit of a quiet stretch into Monday, and then our next system looks set to hold off because of that area of high pressure until perhaps Wednesday, Tuesday night at the earliest, and then Wednesday that will crawl in with some rain, perhaps mixing to a little bit of snow. So here's how the 7-day trend plays out. Again, temperatures closer to seasonal the next couple of days. And then a cool stretch, really, for the latter part of the weekend into early next week ahead of that midweek system. And for Labrador, generally quiet. That snow tracking in, obviously, for the Friday-Saturday time period. But after that, the main theme is the cold temps in the west and generally quiet in the east. We'll keep you posted. Debbie?
Thanks again, Ryan. Well, the tragedy in Humboldt is hitting the hockey community hard, especially the many across Canada who used to don the Broncos sweater. The CBC's Gary Mansfield spoke to a former Humboldt Bronco from Cape Breton, who's making the trip to Saskatchewan to show his support.
Back to Bergen, the shot and a great save, the rebound!
Once you're a Bronco, you're always a Bronco.
Bill McDougall first learned of the tragic accident from a former teammate.
Heartbroken, just heartbroken, and I can't imagine if it was me. You can't prepare yourself for anything like this.
Feeds it in front, McDougall shot, the save by Romeo, rebound. McDougall tries to jam it in, another chance, McDougall in front of the shot. Oh, and the net comes off and scoring.
In the 1986-87 season, McDougall played his last year of junior with the Broncos. He tallied 187 points in 61 games and won a championship. The speedy forward also spent time in the American Hockey League and even made it to the big show with the Red Wings, the Oilers, and the Lightning. He finished his hockey career in Europe. McDougall says he spent many hours traveling on the bus and says the experience could be nerve-wracking.
You're sleeping maybe and you're in a storm and you're on a 2-lane highway, and you hear a little, maybe the bus slowing down, or just a little swerve, you're just up, So it's I can just imagine.
McDougall says he will meet with former teammates in Humboldt in coming days to support the players and their families.
A lot of memories, and seeing the players again, and just being strong for the community, and just showing the support. But it'll be tough. It'll be tough going there.
Gary Mansfield, CBC News, New Waterford.
Well, we're all thinking of Humboldt here across this province as well, and this is our viewer picture of the day. A great one that brings Newfoundland and, of course, the iconic laundry clothes on the line in Humboldt together. We'll talk more about this picture after the break.
And stay in the know, anytime, anywhere, with the free CBC News app. All the local, national, international, and breaking news you need. Download it today.
They call her the Lambton Legend for taking the shortcut that couldn't be taken. They say it was like driving up a luge track. But this story had a Hollywood ending. The climb was conquered without spilling a drop.
The agility of a car, the versatility of a crossover, and handling that's the stuff of legend. That's Qashqai.
April showers bring big savings in Cohen's April Flyer. Sweet dreams, sweeter savings with this queen set. Kick back and save $400 on this living room set. And clean up big time with this washer-dryer combo. Spring into more savings at cohens.ca, where the home is.
I wasn't that bothered about my stretch marks, but I bought bio-oil on a whim when I went to the drugstore, and I'm so glad I did. Now, it's always the first thing on my list.
Bio-oil helps improve the appearance of scars and stretch marks.
Lotto Max.
When it comes to tax preparation, BCJ Tax Center has all the answers. With our years of experience and 12 locations across the province, together we can solve your tax puzzle, worry and hassle-free. Fast, professional, and local. BCJ Tax Center, the total tax solution.
Get a friend to do your taxes at BCJ.
All right, welcome back to the show. Before the break, I showed you a great picture that was taken today, and I want to show it one more time. This one is going lots of likes and shares and hearts on Facebook, obviously, and it was taken this morning in that beautiful sunshine, and this was taken in Marguerite from Susan Sweet Skinner, who put all of her hockey jerseys out on the line there. And said Humboldt strong and jerseys for Humboldt, and everybody thinking about them obviously today.
Good collection of jerseys.
Yeah.
And what a wonderful gesture, Susan. Thank you so much for posting that. Great to see it here.
Very nice.
All right, well, we are winding down the show. It's been quite an eventful day with Jersey Day.
Yeah.
But tomorrow we're turning a page, welcoming home Caitlin Osmond. She's arriving tonight. Tomorrow morning I have the great pleasure of sitting down and having a one-on-one interview with her, and we'll be airing that tomorrow night on Here and Now.
Right.
After that I'm heading on the road to Marystown, but before that
Busy gal.
Caitlin is busy on the radio.
So Debbie gets to interview Caitlin, but you can actually ask your own questions too. She's Cecil Hare's guest on Crosstalk tomorrow, so if you want to phone in and you got a question, you can ask her yourself. So she's Cecil's guest as well.
Yeah,
awesome.
That's just after the noon news for an hour, so it's a wonderful opportunity to try to have a quick word with Caitlin.
Yeah.
I'll be at the rink tomorrow night, the Caitlin Osmond Arena, and I'll dip into the show for a couple of times, a live chat with you guys, and hopefully have a few comments from people down there. They are really wound up about this visit.
Yep, so great show tomorrow. Hope you tune in. We'll see you then.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
Safe drive, Debbie.
Thanks.